What is up, and welcome back to another episode of the Girl Games podcast. I'm Amber P.
I'm Alexis Nicole.
Happy New Year, y'all. This is the first episode of 2025. That's nuts.
Crazy.
We started this podcast summer 2021.
This is a
That
long
is
time.
That's a long time. And Alexis and I are so blown away because I was going through the other day looking at stats because I never look at these things, but it just popped up showing like the recap. And it's just like, wow, like you guys really listen to us. And I mean, you be all up on us when we don't post. So we just want to say thank you. We appreciate y'all. And we're excited for the new year.
Yes, it should be a good one. And that'll kind of be where we'll talk about the fit model division, so don't freak out. Um,
Yes.
we are going to talk about like the new year, last year, things we learned, tips and stuff, um, and how to try to be successful in these new year resolutions, because I think last year we kind of like rambled about like resolutions are kind of silly because they last you like 4 weeks.
Mhm.
But I think it can be off to a good start in a sense as long as you have a plan. And I think that's where people like fall short. Like, just because it's the new year does not mean that you're going to be successful in your goals at all. It's like, it's literally goes, we're recording on the 30th. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve. Everyone's going to do their celebrations. I've given my girls their instructions on celebrate, don't lose your mind, because
Yes.
the next day is the first, but it doesn't negate anything that happens tomorrow. So, like, that's life. You have to pay the consequences or reap the
Mhm.
benefits of everything that you did yesterday and the days before and all of that. But the best way to be successful in any goal is to have a plan and have some kind of an idea of how you're going to be successful in these goals. Otherwise, it's just a dream. It's
Yeah.
not a goal.
Absolutely. I'm someone who I love New Year's Eve. I mean, I love a good party. I love the idea of a fresh start, a new beginning. So, like, I get why some people get annoyed by the whole new year, new me thing, but at the same time, I'm like, I mean, whatever. Like, if that's what it's going to take to get somebody moving, get them moving. Something that I have noticed, and you've probably seen it too on social media, is people have been in their winter arc, which I find very fascinating. And I like the mindset of that because I think what happens is when the new year comes, people are like, okay, on this day, I'm going to do all these things. And like I said to someone a couple of days ago, if you did not go to the gym 5 times a week at all in 2024, why do you think that just because we've turned over a new calendar year, you're going to all of a sudden do that? You need to build the habit. So I like the idea of the winter arc because it's kind of like easing your way into it, especially like how I coach, especially if it's someone who's new. I like to do habit stacking. So I'm not going to say, all right, hit the gym 5 times a week. It's like, hold on. Like, you have to learn the habit. So, like, I think if people just had the mindset, and I'm not talking about like intermediate athletes, like someone who's at the national level or pro. Like, this is more so for someone who's maybe just making a lifestyle switch, or you're just trying to ease your way into the bodybuilding world. But set yourself up for realistic goals so that way you can get a win. Because I think what happens is sometimes people, especially when it comes to newer athletes, they like the idea of how something sounds, but then once they start in it full throttle, they're like, whoa. And then I think that's when they get defeated and fall off.
Yeah, or like just trying to do any habit cold turkey. Because typically, when you're starting a new routine or you're starting a new habit, you're dropping an old bad habit or an
Mhm.
old something that you don't want to do anymore, your old routine. And trying to go from 0 to 100 and just flipping the page. It sounds great. And occasionally we can do that with things we really, really want. But a lot of times you don't want something as bad as you think you do. And you don't know that until you get into it.
Mhm.
And that is why we say, like, even jumping into bodybuilding, like, you need to go into it 100%. But also, that doesn't mean give every risk in the
No.
game
Yeah.
for that first show, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's how a lot of people go in. They get completely burnt out if they make it to the show, and then they never want to do anything with bodybuilding again. And that goes for every habit. Um, I have some things that I'm going to be shooting for in 2025 and like trying to kick off well now.
Mhm.
But I'm also realistic that like if I just like one of my things is like getting some things paid down. I want to pay my car off early and like having like financial goals. But I know if I just restrict myself from buying anything extra, it'll last like a month. And then I'll go hog wild probably because that's
Yeah.
what I tend to do and buy things that I don't need and then
Mhm.
have buyer's regret and it's like
Yep.
a cycle. Um but it's like you have to go into goals slowly. So you have this big goal. Maybe it's to get on stage or maybe it's to buy a house or like whatever your goal is, break it down into smaller goals and then have, and like I've said this before, this is what I do for my off seasons. It's what I'm having to do now for this long off season. Y'all know this is not my favorite. um Making like little milestones that you're reaching. So like
Mhm.
in 6 weeks my goal is this, so then it just gives you 6 weeks to reach your goal. Once you get to that, it's going to feel really good. It's going to feel good along the way knowing that you're working towards it. But then once you reach that small milestone, then it's like, okay, like I'm actually doing this. It's very encouraging to keep you on that 6 month or 1 year goal. Um, so I think that's something that's like it's been helpful for me and is a tactic I'm using towards my New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, I love that. I'm a huge fan of reverse engineering. I'm like, okay, what's the goal? Cool. Work backwards from there. Because again, it's just kind of like you can have the goal all day long, but it's like faith without works is dead. Like you got to come up with a plan, like write the vision, make it plain, because at least that way you can see. Like Marilla, it was last night, Marilla was telling me like one of his big goals. And I said, okay, cool. How do we get there? Because it's cool to have a big goal or a big idea, but if you don't have a plan, and then also I think something else, I mean, I've definitely learned this is you also have to learn to be flexible because 9 times out of 10, something on that plan is going to change. And I
Yes.
realized that's something that I struggle with because I'm very, okay, here's the plan. This is what we're going to do. And so what happens with me in the past is when something gets derailed, I kind of freak out because I was like, well, no, 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 that's not how it was supposed to go. So I've learned that, hey, here's the plan, but also understand that, and this is what I tell clients too, like, this is a guide. Nothing is set in stone, especially if you are in prep. This is your first prep. Understand that nothing is set in stone and things are going to turn and move, and you just have to be adaptable and learn to go with the flow, which I mean, I don't like doing that, but I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah. For me, when I get derailed, it tends to make me want to like buckle down harder,
Mm,
which is again like the whole like 0 to 100 situation where it's like
mm,
I try to force things. Like if I really want something, I'm gonna make it happen, but sometimes it can be to a detriment in another area. Um, and that I think also comes from like a base of anxiety. Like if I don't get this done, then like if you have anxiety, you know what I'm talking about. But like it'll spiral, and then it's like worst case scenario is on the top of your mind, and you're so far from that actually happening.
yeah.
You're stressed for no reason. And I've been doing better with the whole like not getting ahead of myself and like chilling that out and controlling what I can focus on.
Mhm.
And it's made a difference in how I sleep. Like my aura ring says that I'm less restless at
That's
night.
good. That's good. I was telling, I mean, super transparent last night. Like I was having a real conversation with Lil last night because again, like planning, I understand, okay, we are getting on stage in 2025, but I also understand that my life has just been so up and down all over the place. And so it's just kind of like, what can I do? Like my environment needs to be set in a very specific way. And I just told him, I said, listen, I'm going to have to lock in and focus on me. So, in order for me to do that, it's going to have to be every man for himself for a moment until I can just get myself going again. And also understand because I'm doing that, that doesn't mean that I don't love you. That doesn't mean that I don't want to be with you. These are very key things you have to say, especially if you are married, you have a significant other, because it can seem like sometimes like, oh, well, you don't want to talk to me, you don't want to do it, and that's not it. It's just like I've had so many things happen, and so life got derailed. I couldn't focus, but now I'm just kind of like I've got to focus. So if like y'all just put me in a cave by myself and don't talk to me, that would be very, very helpful. And it's like, I know that's not realistic, but sometimes that's what I have to do to buckle down. And I just told him, it's like, life has not been set up for me to succeed. Like, I've had a lot of just mental and emotional stress. And I'll be honest with y'all, I have not been doing good at managing it. Like, it's just been like, my anxiety ain't never been like this before, but I'm aware of like, okay, girl, we gotta get going. You gotta set a plan. You gotta figure it out.
Yeah, it can definitely be, I mean, it's always a work in progress. So
Mhm.
just making like those small ticks in your overall goal, making small ticks along the way that you can consistently reach, regame plan, shoot for the next tick, reach, regame plan, shoot for the next one, and that's how you get to the ultimate goal. And that's what bodybuilding is too.
Yeah.
Um, Off seasons, you have like you need to grow in order to cut and do better, and then grow and then cut and do better. So it's the same thing. Um, and just kind of understanding how you respond to things and how what works best for you. Some people might need a goal every 2 weeks. Some
Yeah.
people can do 4 to 6 to 8. So it just depends like how what works for you. And then also I think understanding that like a long-term goal, you cannot rely on instant gratification.
Ooh, come on, talk about it.
And that's hard because like we have instant gratification at our fingertips right now. Like um if you are not Amber and I's age, you've had it like most of your life.
Hmm.
Like y'all don't even remember dial-up internet.
Hello,
Like we
hello.
didn't always have automatic internet. You had this
No.
monstrous computer that you couldn't use the phone while you were using the dial-up internet unless you were rich and had two phone lines.
Hmm.
And you had to wait, and like it wasn't always the same amount of time. It depended on how many people around you were trying to get on the dial-up at the same time. Like,
Hmm.
but we've kind of been conditioned, especially if you were like active in the new age, you're on social media, you're on the internet, you're in you don't carry cash anymore. Like you have easy access to everything. We have Amazon, you can get things in some areas the same day delivered to your door. um it's easy to forget that like big time things take time. So that's something that I'm trying to like get used to also, and like kind of reprogram back is not needing everything right now. And that's even like for me, it's like I don't want to go to the grocery store, but I want to make bread right now. So I need bread flour. So am I willing to pay the extra like $8 in fees that it takes
Hmm.
to order it on Instacart
Yeah.
because I don't want to get in my car and drive there?
Hmm. That's real. I finished reading a book called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, and it was just so daunting to me because just like you said, the way society is and how everyone's just trying to hurry up and go because we're so used to instant gratification. Sometimes when it comes to a big goal, I think that's why so many people get defeated. But it's almost like it put me in a situation where I'm going through the process of just basically like deprogramming myself to just intentionally slow down. Like, I think a lot of our issues is, especially for like the younger crowd, and we love y'all, we're not picking on you, is y'all don't know how to be bored. Being bored is healthy. Like when I was a kid and I was at the store with my mama, I didn't have a phone or a tablet. I was just at the store with my mom, waiting for her at the salon. You know what I mean? And so I find myself now like little simple things of if I'm at the grocery store in line, don't get on your phone, just try to sit, because I feel like that part of the deprogramming process will help relieve some of this constant instant gratification. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
it's not easy and I get it. It's technology is amazing. We wouldn't have I wouldn't know you without all these things, right? But I think sometimes because the way the world is set up, people get frustrated when it comes to a weight loss goal or prep because we're just so conditioned to have everything immediately.
It's easy, but it's detrimental. So like finding ways to challenge yourself is always going to be beneficial in the long run.
Absolutely. Um, something that I learned in 2024, and I didn't realize that it would be a benefit for me until literally 2 weeks ago. Like, obviously, like, I didn't get to compete this year, and that made me very, very upset. But I went back and I looked at my photos from last year, this time versus now, and my physique looks totally different, and my physique looks totally different in a good way. Like, I feel like now I am so much more streamlined. And so, yeah, life was not ideal. No, I didn't hit every mark. But what I can say was what was beneficial for me was those days that I didn't hit the gym. I think it was beneficial because my upper body, I feel like, came down because it needed to come down. It's like I couldn't, like, it's one of the things where body dysmorphia is real, right? And I'm learning to understand that how I see myself is not true. It's not real. And so now going back and looking at it, I can see, oh, so while I was upset that I wasn't able to hit every goal or I wasn't able to get on stage, I'm like, this was a blessing in disguise because had I competed in 2025, I probably wouldn't have gotten a good result because my body would have not had time to just basically streamline that it needs to be for a bikini.
Yeah, I have not enjoyed so the last week or so, it's right after Christmas. Today's what, the 30th?
Mhm.
So we went to Wyoming. We left the 23rd and we came back the 28th. Um, the last time I was in the gym was the 22nd,
Mm,
and then I went yesterday.
that's fun. Mm,
And like the 23rd, I didn't want to train. Like we
yeah.
woke up at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. at the hotel to go to the airport, and like it was an
Mhm.
all day thing. And then we get into town, we're seeing family and stuff. 24th, Christmas Eve, 25th, Christmas. We didn't plan to train those days.
Yeah.
We were going, like, we had a soft plan, like, yeah, we'll train in Wyoming. So I took like two or three workout outfits. There was no like we're going on this day.
Right.
We ended up not training at all. It was just like we enjoyed time with family. Um, Martin's granny stayed at the house longer than like intentionally planned one day, and it was really fun. But y'all, by the 27th, I was like, I'm ready to go to the gym, and I didn't go until yesterday. So
Mhm.
um, it was completely fine. I trained yesterday. It felt really good.
Mhm.
I didn't shrink. Um, I came home a little lighter than when I went to Christmas for.
Hey.
So the Christmas snacks did not. No, no, no.
Uh-oh.
I sent check-ins the day after Christmas, and I
Of
ate
the scam.
cheesecake Christmas night and like all the foods, and I ate lactate like it was nobody's business. So I wasn't like
Yeah.
terribly big or like inflamed or anything, but I was watery. And boss responded to my check-ins, y'all, and said, "We have reached maximum chunkiness." So we pulled back on the snacks.
Yeah, yeah.
When I got back, I sent check-ins yesterday. I'm every 3-day check-ins. And my weight was like down 4 pounds.
Oh,
So it
wow.
was a lot of water. I didn't
Water.
lose 4 pounds of fat, which I could tell in the pictures. I could tell feeling myself it was water. But that was a call that was like, hey, we good. Don't be
Yeah,
snacking anymore. It's after
absolutely.
Christmas. We made it through Christmas. Stop. Um, so I'm back to my plan. And one, that is the kind of coaching that I like.
Yeah.
Very straightforward. Um, Boss is even a little bit more straightforward than Nelson was. And I appreciate it because it's like it's straight, no chaser. This is what we need to do. You want to get here. You need to do this, and it's like that's what I like. And um, I like to think that I am that kind of coach. So like I'm
Mhm.
very understanding. When issues arise, I will help you troubleshoot them. But I'm also like, girl, like
Stop it.
this goal and these actions are not matching. So let's figure it out. And that's my opinion. But all that to say, we spent a week not bodybuilding and we didn't die.
Yeah,
Now you
yeah,
can't be doing that once a month. You can't be doing that
no,
a week a month.
no.
But it is to say like it's okay. to veer from the plan for something that is also important, and like
Right.
visiting with family, enjoying the holidays, creating memories is important. Um, and that is what I think at the top level of bodybuilding, that is what balance is.
Mhm.
I've done that, and I still sent my check-ins on time, my
Yeah,
every 3 days. Boss knew that we were out of town doing not the normal routine, so everyone's still in the loop. But
yeah.
it's like I did that 1 week out of the entire 500 or 52, not 500 weeks, um, 52 weeks of the year. So scheduling in time for balance is what balance is. And I think that's important to stress going into the new year when like everyone and their mom, and we'll touch on this in a second, has a New Year's resolution of losing weight or getting fitter or being healthier or whatever in the realm of fitness.
Absolutely.
But fitness is not what the general person considers balance. Balance is not eating what you want once a day or acting on emotion and eating regarding emotion rather than what your body's health and well-being needs. They're very different things. Um, and I think I'm off on a tangent now, but I think
Oh,
society has kind of geared us in that way, and it's American society because going to Europe really opened my eyes in that.
yeah.
The amount of crap that's in our food is just ridiculous, and we eat healthy, but I'm talking like how the chickens are raised here versus other places. Um, is just bad, and it's become, in my opinion, a lot has been catered to what Americans want and like the convenience of crap, and we need gigantic chickens because we want them big, we want to get our money's worth
Mhm.
rather than like our quality. Money's worth and quality are two very different things,
Mhm.
and over there things just digest better. We ate the same thing, we were in peak week,
Yeah.
and digestion there in just a day's time of switching to their food versus what we had brought frozen was
Mhm.
insane. And like even Jake, who is a videographer, and if you know anything about the media world, those people live on like popsicle sticks, Doritos, and
Legit.
soda and energy drinks. Like there's not a whole lot of diet good involved. So Jake eats out a lot, and like over there, even the fast food, he was just burning through it because it like his body was actually using food. And it's just crazy what our society has become accustomed to here. It's again the instant gratification and like what we want fast and need it now and stuff, but like
Mhm.
convenience as well. Um, so yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. I guess adding to what we talked about before.
Yeah. Well, since we're on it, I found this very interesting when Lo told me a while ago. So in Brazil, if you go to McDonald's and get, I mean, I don't even know what a number one is. I haven't eaten McDonald's in years, but it'll be like $20. But if you go to a steakhouse, you can get steak, rice, and beans. It'll be like $5.
Yep. So yeah, we went to several very nice restaurants because also inflation there is not crazy.
Right.
But yeah, like for good, clean, healthy food, it was not crazy expensive.
Mhm.
Um I don't remember McDonald's being super that much more expensive, but also we were in the Czech Republic by the time we were eating McDonald's, and like we did try out the McDonald's because
Yeah, of
they
course.
have like they had a cookie butter like
It tastes better.
uh what's their ice cream thing called that they mix stuff into? McDonald's, it's kind of like a Dairy
Oh, the
Queen thingy.
McFlurry thingy?
Yes,
Okay.
they had a cookie butter McFlurry, and like so they have different things over
Ooh.
there that they don't have here. And they had like I think a salted caramel muffin that Martin got. Like, yeah, they just have different stuff in other countries. So like that's why we went was to see what how their McDonald's was different. Um, but you didn't walk out of there feeling like death in 10 minutes
Like your
because it's
stomach.
still clean. Yeah, yeah. It's just like hopefully with how things are changing here, maybe a benefit will be that there's less stuff in our
Yeah,
food.
I pray.
Um, because I've also, if you watch my YouTube, but I've developed like this an allergy to chicken, um, to where if I eat more than like one meal a day of chicken, I'm turning into like a big water buffalo
That's no good.
and itchy and like inflamed. And I learned that after the Olympia, but it's been consistent. I've even tried like organic chicken, and even with that, it's just like too much of it. But it's still like organic here doesn't mean organic. It just means like
On.
they didn't give the cows steroids or something, or
That's
not cows, chickens.
I know it's okay. It's okay. We know.
Whatever. It's all of it. It's just very interesting. But
Yeah.
um to segue into what I started getting into was everyone's got a goal in health.
Y'all,
So
Alexis's brain is back, by the way.
yes, I've been making lists.
Fresh.
Um, Everybody's about to be in the gym tomorrow
Hmm.
or the day after tomorrow. It's
Hmm.
starting now, but it's gonna be crazy on the second.
Yes.
Because people are gonna party tomorrow and then be hungover on the first and then be like, I'll start tomorrow. And then that's how you start getting into like your resolutions don't stick. Um,
Tomorrow
but
never
the like
comes.
the first and through the month of January and into February is going to be packed. And then people will start falling off and it'll get back to your normal
Yeah.
scheduled routine at the gym. But the first 6-ish weeks of the year can be annoying. And
Mm,
that's just how it is. For those of us who are used to going to the gym, are used to our routine, are used to being able to getting on equipment that we want, especially if you go to chain gyms. So like Lifetime, Anytime, Planet
Right.
Fitness, anything that offers a very cheap membership, you're in for it.
Mhm.
Um, so how to deal with this? The main thing is be a nice human being.
Pray.
It can be obnoxious because there's going to be a ton of people who don't know what they're doing, trying to figure it out. If you are an outgoing, nice person and see someone trying to figure something out, you
Mhm.
could just go and offer to show them or offer
Absolutely.
to help them. Um, if you don't like to talk at the gym, I'm not someone who wants to have a whole conversation during the gym time. Um, be patient.
Hmm.
If it completely drives you insane, change the time that you're going because ultimately everyone has a goal. Those people in the gym are trying to work towards their goals,
Yeah.
and you were that new person at some point in your life.
You're not more
So,
important than them, so don't.
no. It can be frustrating for sure. I get it. When every machine is full and you only have 2 hours and you're trying to figure it out, that's been me. You
Mhm.
guys know that I used to go before my shifts at work. So I was on a time crunch just trying to maximize my sleep versus training time. Um, I would like there's been times I went after work, there's been times that I switched the days that I was going really just so that I didn't lose my mind while I'm there
Yeah.
and try to go during a less busy time. The busiest times are going to be before your 8 a.m. shifts. And so I would say what, like 6 to 9,
Hmm.
7 to 9, um, and then after work. So like 5 to 7:30.
Yeah. I literally just redid my schedule so that I can go to the gym midday. I don't like a packed gym, period. Like I can't function. I get really, really upset. I get annoyed. And because I know these things about me and I'm like, okay, what can we do about it? So for me, it's like one of the gyms, I don't mind going to it, but I kind of try not to go there as much as I can, just for the sole fact of it's in the same area of where my salon used to be. And so a lot of people know me there. And so it's just like one day I was trying to work out and kid you not, I got stopped every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I was just like, hey girl, good to oh, I don't have time. But then if I go to the other gym, it's like a freaking club. So I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm gonna change my schedule and I'm just going to go back to going midday when there's no one in the gym. I can do what I need to do, get in and out. And I understand everyone doesn't have the luxury of doing that, but if you can do it and also just like be real with yourself. You know, like if it annoys you, then you need to already have the mindset of, okay, I'm probably going to be annoyed. Let me try to adjust my attitude because like I said, like I understand that what I have to do isn't more important than the other person, but is it frustrating when you need a machine, the person's just sitting there on their phone scrolling? Yeah, it's it's very frustrating.
Yeah. Um, the biggest thing is to be patient.
Mhm.
Adjust your schedule if you can, and if you can't, just know that it like don't go in expecting to do exactly what you're used to doing because
Yeah,
it's your gym, because it's
yeah.
not. Unless you own it, it's not yours.
Mm-mm.
And if you own it, you're going to be even more busy because you got all those signups. So make your
Oh,
money
for real.
and be
Oh,
patient.
be patient. That's it. Just be patient. Like I'm patient, I'm praying, and then also sometimes, again, this is just, well, I'm going to mention this a little bit later too, but sometimes I realize if a girl is stopping me, I think we forget that to the general public. We look like freaks of nature. you know? And
So they're
so
like, how do I do that?
right. right. And so like I have to have the mindset of like, if this sweet girl, she just wants to ask me a couple of questions. I'm like, it's like, it's fine. It's fine. So it's just like be helpful when you can. And I get it. Sometimes you don't feel like talking about the end of the day. Like I always have the mindset of you never know what a 20-second conversation with that person can do for them. You speaking life into them, encouraging them might be the one thing that keeps them focused and on their journey.
Yeah, and you didn't know the things that you know now without other
Absolutely.
people.
Yeah.
A lot of people have used even just this podcast to get information on things that they didn't know. That's why we started it. Because
Mhm.
Amber and I were like,
Oh
do you
God.
know this? Because I don't know this.
I don't know
And
this.
she's like, do you know this? Because I don't know this. Remember that story about what are those pictures that you post every week?
Yes.
And I'm like, your coach doesn't have you take check-ins? No. All right. Well, how she didn't know that till she asked. So
My have we grown up? Now my coach is making me do twice a week, and I'm like, F this.
yes, welcome to the club.
Hate it. All right. Well, now I'm sure everyone has probably been waiting for this because this like broke the internet fit model. Fit model. Now, Alexis sent me a text, go to Instagram right now. And I was like, what? What's happening? And so when I go and I see the video, I was not at all expecting it. And
Mm-mm.
I'm going to keep it a buck. As soon as I heard it, I was like, absolutely not. Nope, this is silly. I don't understand the point. But then I stopped and I sat on it for a minute and I thought about it. And probably within like 45 minutes to an hour, I was like, okay, I get it. I understand because it goes back to what I said earlier. I think sometimes, especially for us pros, we are so conditioned to seeing lean, muscle, the whole nine, right? And I think sometimes because we're so used to that, we lose sight of reality. Me, I don't think I have a physique that's not obtainable. But I had to stop and step outside of myself and look at it from other athletes' point of view. And I realized I absolutely do have a physique that is not obtainable for a lot of people. And so when I kind of changed my mindset to that, I'm like, okay, cool, I understand.
Well,
I
even if
understand.
it's not, it's like it's not even not attainable. They just don't recognize how to make it attainable.
Yes. Yes.
So, like, you don't know what you don't know. You don't
Yeah.
know what you're capable of
Yeah.
until you start pushing yourself. So if you had told me in 2019 that I would be competing at my second Olympia and placing top 10, I would have called you insane.
Yeah.
Because at the time, didn't even have the desire. Like the desire had
Mhm.
not been born yet. I just wanted to see what bodybuilding was.
Yeah.
So like it's literally a stepping stone. And can you hear that?
Yeah. What was that?
Martin uses the blender a lot now that he's eating big boy amounts of food.
Okay. I was like,
He
what's happening? Oh, that's
blends a lot
okay.
of things. Um, so what was I saying? Oh, it's just a stepping stone. So like the
Yeah.
natural progression of bodybuilding is exactly what you're seeing right now. Things evolve. So
Mhm.
when bikini first began, it looked like exactly what they're describing for the fit model. It's
Mhm.
basically OG bikini.
Mhm.
No tie-ins, not too much muscle. It basically looks like you dieted to go to the beach. And that is the point of bikini. That's why it's called bikini.
Yeah.
um, and then men's physique was that version of that. If you look back at the very beginning of men's physique, it looks nothing like compared to what it is now.
Mhm.
And if you paid attention recently, I don't know how much you follow men's categories, but they at the pro level are now putting a weight cap on men's physique, like a height and weight situation, just like
I love that.
classic physique, because it's evolving, it's getting bigger. The premise of bodybuilding is muscle. And once you get into bodybuilding, it's about pushing yourself and pushing your mental and pushing your physical, in which case the body is going to grow. The look is going to change. Um Now, personally, I like a muscular physique. When I got into bikini, it's because I was too muscular for pageants and I didn't have the desire to become less muscular.
Yeah.
So I competed in bikini for a short time, then switched to wellness, and that's where I'm at now. So, like, a muscular physique is what appeals to me aesthetically.
Mhm.
It's what I think looks good. Not everybody wants to do like look like that. And if you look at the basic fit influencer right now, a lot of them look like the fit model because that's what they desire to look like.
Mhm.
Um,
I thought of 2 people who I think would be perfect, like, examples of the fit model. The first one, Heidi Summers, Buff Bunny. She
yeah.
perfect, and then I didn't realize she's not competing anymore. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but her name is
Mhm.
Natalie Matthews. She's, a vegan IFBB pro, and so she's on the smaller side, but I was just kinda like, she would do great in that division because she had a hard time just trying to keep up, with the muscularity, so
And like so I think the point, so there's two sides to this coin. One, it's a business move. The IFBB and the NPC is a business, y'all. So getting more people into the sport makes financial sense.
well, and then here's the thing with that too, because I was like, "Oh, this is business. It's all about money." And people are like, "Oh, this is just for money." I'm like, "That's what businesses are supposed to do.
Yeah. So like
Make money."
I don't think that's the only reason. I do
Yeah,
think it's also beneficial to grow the sport. But it is a reason and
yeah,
it's a valid one. That's why people who
100%.
have product lines add more products. Like if you have a service line, you're adding more services and options and times and all that. So like it makes sense. And then also it's a stepping stone. Like I started with before. Like I started in bikini. I had no only the only step up from bikini was figure. I didn't want to look like figure. I probably wouldn't still be competing if wellness wasn't added because I didn't have the right muscularity for bikini and I couldn't get it to come down. But it wasn't big enough for figure and didn't have the desire to look like the upper body of figure. So I
Mhm.
was in this in between like how long was bikini going to be successful for me?
Right.
Um and I'm a competitive person. I wouldn't have enjoyed it if I couldn't find areas to improve in. You know what I'm saying? And there was no way what I was trying to do to improve wasn't working. So it's like bikini wasn't working. Um there are a lot of competitors like Michaela Acox, one for example. She started in women's physique and now she's a top 6 Olympian in women's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
She moved up. So I do anticipate a lot of girls starting in fit model and then progressing to other divisions the
Yeah.
longer that they're in the sport, as their ideals change, as what they think is attractive changes, as they push themselves and grow muscle. Um, because also one of the rules is you cannot compete in fit model and another division. You
I
cannot
love
cross over.
that.
So if you are registered for fit model, you will not be competing in bikini or anything else.
Mhm.
So like let's make that very clear. That is an NPC rule. It's on NPC News Online in the description. You can only do that. And then it's also, in my opinion, the most appropriate division for people who want to do it as a bucket list.
Oh, 100%.
because it's not, you still need to diet, let's be clear,
Yeah.
but it's not an extreme body fat level.
Mhm.
Um, so it's attainable without running your health into the dirt for a one-time bucket list situation.
Absolutely.
I think it's the least likely to cause the most significant impaired food relationship, all
Yeah.
that stuff that can be byproducts of bodybuilding. I think it's the least risky. So I think it's an okay open door situation. Um, but I also wanted to say whether you agree with it or not doesn't matter.
It's here.
You can have your opinion, but like to degrade the sport or degrade
Do that.
those who decided on the division becoming or anything like that is silly. Um, if you don't like it, don't compete in it. Don't promote it. Promote your division because ultimately that's what we should be doing. So like I've seen comments and like gotten DMs about we should be promoting the women's divisions that are not as popular before adding another. Promote it. That is your job as a professional, especially the division that you compete in. You should be promoting it. You should be promoting the sport as a whole, um, but promote the ones that you care about. What do you think? You seem to have a opposing idea.
No, I'm
Like,
just listening. No, I agree with you. I guess from
like I
what
don't think
I
it's anyone else's responsibility to promote something that you like.
yeah. I mean, like, from what I saw just with comments and stuff, I want to say to like, I mean, to some of the pros, like, yo, ain't nobody trying to take nothing away from you. Especially like I'm talking to the bikini pros because a lot of people are like, oh, well, that's what we used to look like. It's like, yes, I know that's what we used to look like, but no one's taking anything away from you. But also, and this is just where my mind goes, like, it's giving very Pharisee legalistic in the Bible because it's like when Jesus popped up on the scene with the new covenant, they weren't trying to hear. They're like, no, we don't want to change anything. And it's like, you guys, like, this is something new. This is to help athletes. This is for the athletes who maybe don't want to look like a bikini girly. This is for the athletes who maybe don't want to run drugs. Like, it just like I understand. And like now it also puts me in a position because obviously, like Alexis and I, we're part of the bodybuilding economy. So we're both pros, but she has posing, she's coaching. I do glam. For me now with coaching, I'm like, oh, this is great because I honestly had a hard time coaching athletes that I knew only wanted to get on stage as a bucket list. I had a hard time pushing them and telling them to do X, Y, and Z because I don't want to run them into the ground for something that they're only going to do one. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
like, for me, just like coaching when it comes to like morals and ethics, like I feel so comfortable with that because I know we can do this. You can get on stage. I'm okay now if it is just a bucket list because I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. At first, whenever girls would approach me for bikini, you're like, oh well, it's just a bucket list thing, and I'm like, I don't, because I want you to do well. That's a competitive nature. Like I don't want you to get on stage
yeah,
and get slapped, but I also know what it takes in order for you to get on stage and not get slapped. So it's just kind of like this.
yeah. So I think it like all in all, um, support it if you want to. Support other divisions if you don't want to support Fit Model. Um, if you are thinking about competing in Fit Model, hire a coach. You
Yeah.
still have to diet. You still have to learn to pose. You still need a suit. It's going to be cheaper.
Yeah.
Um, if you are successful in the first call out at a national show in bikini, no, don't switch to Fit Model. It is not appropriate for you.
Yeah, if you're getting first call out at nationals, you were not.
No.
Mm-mm.
Um,
I think some people probably think, oh well, I can just.
it's not softer bikini. It's less
It's
muscle than bikini.
yeah,
A
and
little
that's
bit softer, but not. I can do both. You cannot do both.
no, no,
They're trying to be very clear. They do not want you doing both. It is an entry level division.
yeah,
If you've been competing for years and have muscle in bikini, this is not for you.
Mm-mm. Like, I did a consultation with the athlete for a stage presentation. It's her first time ever on stage, and she just had long sleeves on. I was like, "You're doing bikini, right?" She's like, "Yeah, I used to do CrossFit." I was just like, "Yeah, fit model's not in your future." Like, I could see her delts. I was just kind of like, "Okay, cool." She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "I didn't think that I would be able to fit in it." I was like, "Absolutely, because you've been doing CrossFit for 10 years. There's no way you're gonna fit into that division. It's not
Yeah.
possible."
Another resource is Becky Clausen.
Mhm.
Fit Pro Becky on Instagram has been posting a lot about the fit model and like posting education straight from the NPC News Online, straight from the IFBB and the NPC and what they want. She's a Olympia level judge, and she has a highlight where she's been saving all of her story posts. So she's got like real posts on her page, but that is something to go look at if you're looking for more education plus
Mhm.
NPC News Online. Um, but, like, don't talk crap on it. Yes, Amber can do your glam. Yes,
Yeah.
Krista can do your suit.
Yeah.
She's actually looking for, um, testers for the suit cut now. So if you go to her Instagram, she's posted that on her story and stuff. There's an application process, if you wanna try that out. The suits will not have connectors, they will not have jewels. It's like you are going to the beach and you dieted for the beach for, like, a photo shoot or something.
Yeah.
Um, yes, I can teach the posing. That's that.
Yeah. And we're both coaching for that division as well. So Alexis has got lifestyle, fit
I have
modeling.
one that I'm really excited for that we just
Yeah.
started, like oh, she just started the plan, I think, yesterday.
Oh,
Um,
exciting.
yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, I have one who has been like trying to do bikini, but she's vegetarian, and so it's
I was gonna say, this is also a very good
yeah.
option for, like, vegan vegetarians because if you're not eating animal protein, you're not growing significant muscle.
That was our hardest battle. Like, I straight up told her, I was just like, listen, and she's a taller athlete as well. She's like 5'7". I was just kind of like, yo, this is going to be very, and I just told her, I can't put you on stage because you will not do well. Like, I want you to at least be able to hold your own. And then on top of that, she's masters. I'm like, have you seen some of these masters athletes?
They have some dense muscle that's been around for a while.
Yeah. So I'm excited for her. We're gonna definitely put her in fit model. But yeah, that's all I got. Oh, and another thought that I had too, like when I was just working through it, I was like, well, why didn't they just pull back on the bikini criteria? And I was just like, no, it's too late. It is what it is. That's why they're bringing this in. Because I know that was some people's
Yeah.
thoughts as well. Like when I was going back and forth,
It's its own thing, and so
its
they're
own
just
entity.
creating another one.
Yeah.
Um, alright, church notes.
Okay.
Amber, have you released any availabilities for show glams for 2025?
Oh, I have not, and y'all been on me. So I know for sure, national shows are my top notch priority because I'm competing in the spring. So I will be at Arnold, but it's just very, very limited availability just simply
I'll
because
be there too, washing brushes, putting lotion on your face.
yes, Alexis is going to assist me. She cracks me up when she says that. So Arnold, and then after that, the first show that I'll be doing glam at will be Junior USA. So we'll run the gamut as usual. So Junior USA's, Junior Nats, Universe, those for sure. And then as far as like any other pro am shows, I'm not sure at the moment, but I'll go ahead and post that probably today because I'm sure people have been in my DMs for a minute now.
So I have opened, I'm still taking athletes, so email me for that. Lifestyle, fit model, bikini wellness.
Mhm.
Um, if you're a man listening to this, I'm not taking men, but I can point you in the right direction for that. Um,
Okay.
let's see. I opened my posing schedule. It looks skimpy because time is
It is
skimpy.
skimpy.
So if you want, look at that. Um, if you need posing, if you are competing in February, March, April, you need to start posing now. You should have
Yes,
already started.
ma'am.
You need to get on my schedule.
Are you talking
Times
to me?
may
Okay.
times may open, but I'm not guaranteeing that. It just depends on how my schedule goes and if things fall off of the to-do list. I'll be traveling a lot. I have a posing clinic in Detroit, January 18th. and then a posing clinic in Virginia, the one that I've done the last couple of years, in Ashburn at the shop gym on February 1st. So if you want to come, those are good for beginners. You need to have like a baseline understanding of what the poses look like, and then we'll come and adjust things. The Ashburn one's really good because we simulate even going through a routine, how to put a routine together, um, what it's like being on stage in front of people, because it's literally a stage in front of people. So it very much mimics what a show day looks like. You get buttons and everything. If you can be at that one, be there. And then there's also like roundtable discussion where like the audience can ask us questions. There's other Olympians from other divisions there, just giving tips and stuff. Um, I travel. There's a lot of travel that I'll try to document. I know I say that every time, and it's hard to document when you're traveling. Um, I'm going to Dallas this weekend, and then we're going to Houston to look at houses because we're moving to Houston
Woo! Yeah,
sometime in the spring. I don't have an
love
exact date.
that.
Um, we're going back to Austria in February. I need to go to Virginia to do Christmas with my family. So there's like trips every week. So that's why it's skimpy. So get on the programs. Um, yeah, and I hope all that stuff's helpful for you guys. When Amber has her links posted,
Mhm.
get on them. Don't be in her DMs 2 weeks before the show talking about, can you squeeze me in?
Yeah,
No, she
yeah,
can't squeeze you in because she's full.
yeah. Because this year, like, wow, I love y'all. Thank you so much. It's a blessing. I'm at a place to where I don't have to like
Even
push
I can't
forward
pull Houdini stuff. Like, I'm like, hey, Amber,
here.
do you got room for XYZ? And she's like,
Like,
no, I
no,
don't.
I
And I'm
don't.
like, okay.
Yeah, I've already had people asking me about Universe and Junior Nats, and it's December. So I'm trying to I'm trying to figure out if what I kind of was thinking was opening the booking like 8 weeks out, because what I would run into is girls would like book it early and then they'd like, oh, I'm not ready. I don't know. I'm still trying to work around that. But anyway, the schedule will be posted. My calendar is open for if you need like stage presentations, help with your suit, you need stage glam because maybe I'm not at maybe you're doing a regional show. Maybe you feel like you can do your own. My January calendar is open, and then my February calendar will be opening up as probably within the next 2 weeks. And then, yeah, taking lifestyle, fit model, bikini girlies. That's it. That's it, y'all. Happy New Year. We will do our best to try to stay on top of episodes, but just know with Alexis's travel, prep, life, we'll do our best, okay?
All right, guys.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.